the top 4 in driving accuracy each of the last 4 years, the most of any player. And T-ball on the way, and he's got a hand on the hip. So as soon as I say that, he pushes one right. It goes across the cart path near a tree. We'll see if he's got enough room to have a swing. Sorry, Ryan.
Not the tee shot he wanted there. Not the shot at the par 4 8th for Ryan Armour, who did get birdie at the last hole. So a former champ. Solid day for him as well at -2 through 7, Doug Bell.
Well, Earl Adam Long missed the green here at number 6 off the back and rolled down the shave down area. And so he's every bit of 65, 70 feet. Has to come back up to the putting surface. Not the easiest shot. Feet close together. The blade is wide open in that wedge. Hesitates for the moment, and now the half swing sends the flop shot up into the air, lands on the green, rolls out, and 7 or 8 feet to go. So Adam Long will need that to stay bogey-free and even par here at number 6.
Yeah, a lot of work to do for those players. And Stenson front edge, that's outside 60 feet. So, moment of truth there for them on that front 9 to keep things going, move on, and try to keep yourself in the mix here on day 1, Chick.
Here at the 8th, 392 yards, and that's an iron off the tee for Sebastian Munoz. One-arm swing now. Ryan Armour went right, Corey Connors went left, and Sebastian Munoz finds the middle of the fairway. You could not tell from that follow-through. That is in the middle of the fairway there for Sebastian Munoz.
Didn't look good with your action on the tee, but it's okay at the 8th in the fairway. Back to Doug.
All right, Earl, Henrik Stenson looking over this long birdie try outside 60 feet. And he's going to walk over to the right and kind of get the vantage point to check out that right to left break. You know, Stenson's an interesting guy, fun guy to talk to. He's really, really funny, great personality. And, you know, he is left-handed in everything he does except playing golf. He's the reverse of Phil Mickelson. And if you go up and ask Henrik for an autograph, he'll pull out the pen like the pros do, and he'll sign it with his left hand. Pretty interesting how these guys wind up on the opposite side of things, but it just works out that way. And he's had one heck of a career. Now the putter finally behind the ball, outside 60 feet, leaves the flagstick in. Birdie try on the way. It rolls up in that right, and now rolls down to the left, and finally comes to rest. And he's got 6 feet maybe left. That'll be a tough little putt to stay at 1 under for Henrik Stenson.
And we go to Mark Carnevale.
From just right of the 17th green, Kevin Chappell's ball got into the first gutter rough. Is going to use a fairway middle to chase the ball up onto the green. Runs it on there towards the hole, out to the left, turning right, and just slides by. That rolls out to about 4 feet. So Kevin Chappell will have that for par here at 17 to stay at 4 under.
You know, Doug was talking about Henrik Stenson, and, he gets an extra year, like Justin Rose, like Matt Kuchar, to sit on those Olympic medals that they won in 2016. Stenson was the silver medalist at the Summer Olympics, finishing 2 behind the Olympic champion Justin Rose. And with the pandemic shutdown and the cancellation, the postponement of the Summer Olympics in Japan, they get 1 more year. And part of this super season, 50 events, 6 majors, a Players' Championship on the PGA Tour. It is an Olympic year as well. Hopefully they can play golf in 2021 now, Mark Carnevale.
Out here at the 17th, Kevin Chappell now just putting the ball down. Really wise choice using the fairway middle up the incline from the just outside the collection area, now 4 feet for his par save. He's just a little left of this middle right hole location. If anything, the ball may try to go to his left. Kevin Chappell, by the way, playing on a major medical extension, has 18 events to make a little over 252 points. Or I should say FedEx Cup points. Now Chappell putt away, working right to left and in. So a nice save for Chappell. He remains 4 under as he heads to 18.
Yeah, so Chappell, much like situation, he's got a lot more events to play, but last week's winner, Hudson Swafford, who got it done, and Chappell so far is getting it done on a day we've had some good scoring with co-leaders at 8 under par, Charlie Hoffman, Jimmy Walker, as we continue our coverage from Jackson, Mississippi in 60 seconds.
Nice. Next week, the quest for the FedEx Cup visits the entertainment capital of the world for the Shriners Hospitals for Children Open.
Bright light city, gonna set my soul on fire.
Our exclusive play-by-play coverage from TPC Summerlin begins at 2 p.m. Eastern next Thursday and Friday, then at 3 o'clock in the East over the weekend.
Viva Las Vegas.
You can always listen free on a computer or mobile device at pgatour.com/live audio.
Introducing Titleist Tour Speed, where speed meets performance. The new multi-layer technology delivers the ball speed, distance, and short game control you need to play better. Faster than Callaway Chrome Soft, Bridgestone's Tour VRX, and TaylorMade Tour Response. Get new Titleist Tour Speed, or get left behind.
Sergio Garcia is 37 feet away, just off the putting surface here at 6. Will use the putter and leave the flag stick in. Sergio, with that slow rhythmic backswing and the birdie try up and over a rise, now rolls down towards the hole, still rolling out, and finally comes to rest 2.5 feet from the cup. So Sergio looks like he'll maneuver that to stay at 1 under through 6 holes here at the Country Club of Jackson, the Sanderson Farms Championship.
8th hole, Sebastian Munoz now from the middle of the fairway, 168 to a middle right hole location. This one into the wind. That's a fine shot from Sebastian Munoz behind the hole. He'll have just inside 15 feet for another birdie for Sebastian Munoz. Doug Bell?
Here at number 6, Adam Long sends his par putt up to the hole from 7 feet, and that rolls right into the center. So well done for Adam Long. He's had a couple of nice par saves, and that's 6 consecutive pars in his card to start his opening round.
Maybe that one little putt right there might do something and turn it around. That was a putt that was a little longer than a gimme for sure, and it was one of those things that maybe that might get him going in the right direction.
All right, Ryan Armour now on the 8th from 159. He does have room to swing. He's by a tree.
60.
He carried the cart path. I just extol the virtues of his great driving accuracy, and he goes and leaves one on the right and on the other hole. But now 159 in here on the par 4 8th to a middle right hole location. A bunker does guard this green in front of it, so a tough shot here for Ryan Armour. And this one now on the way, goes low, and now looks for it to get up, asking for it to get up, and this one does not. Stays short of the bunker. So he'll be just short of the green. Ryan Armour with a tough up and down to remain at -2.
And back a couple of holes, back to 6, Doug Bell.
Henrik Stenson will now try to save his par here at the par 4 6th. Stenson about 6 feet, putting through a shadow, slightly downhill. Stenson with a stroke. Ball goes up the hole and into the bottom. It falls. So Henrik Stenson with a 2-putt from long range outside 60 feet, and he stays at 1 under through 6 holes.
There's something about that putting stroke. He looks very comfortable on the short ones. I think that's going to be very important with Stenson's new little style that he's going with. It looks really nice, and he looks comfortable.
And Sergio able to clean up for his par as well, so they move on to a difficult par 3 at 7 and 60 seconds.
This fall, never miss a second with PGA Tour Live.
How about it?
Non-stop action of the world's best.
Shot of the day.
Holy moly!
Shot of the day.
All season long.
No way!
Early round coverage that can't be seen anywhere else.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
Don't miss a moment.
That's making it happen.
A new fall season is here. Subscribe at PGATourLive.com today.
This season is unlike any other. Higher stakes, amazing stars, bigger rewards.
And get louder now. Get louder now. You know what this is all about.
Where greatness becomes glory. And now's the time to set the pace. PGA Tour, an extraordinary new season is here. Follow the action of the 2020-2021 PGA Tour season at PGATour.com.
Henrik Stenson, Sergio Garcia, part of our afternoon coverage on a Thursday of the Sanderson Farms Championship. Headed to a par 3 next, the 7th hole. Cody Gribble, a former champion, describes it.
Seven's a 215-yard par 3. Pretty big green, wide, deep as well. But for me, I'm looking for front of the green. Those pins, they're going to have 2 to the right and 1 back. And it's heavy slope to the right. Treacherous if you're missing it right and treacherous if you're missing it long. I'd say most of the players you'll be seeing trying to hit the front of the green. And, if you give yourself a 20-footer, you're in business.
Yeah, great par 3. That's the 3rd most difficult hole on the golf course in the sense of the par 3s. It's ranked 6th right now. Just 12 birdies made there, but there's been 2 doubles and 15 bogeys. The golf hole is really kind of there, and a difficult hole. Looks pretty straightforward. Over the green is not as bad. Most of the guys can get it up and down from over the green here. There's been a lot of 3 putts, though, here at the par 3 7.
Henrik Stenson on the tee first. Doug Bell.
Henrik Stenson still has honors here at the par 3 7th, 195 yards, hole cut 18 paces on, 4 from the left edge, elevated green, and Stenson hits that towering tee shot, lands middle of the green, takes a big trampoline bounce past the hole on the right side, rolls all the way to the back edge and still rolling, now through the collar and stays right there. Now he could putt it from off the back of the green. Again, a long way from home for Henrik Stenson.
Kind of just a little bubble green. It's a tricky little par 3. Looks pretty straightforward, but it's just hard to score on. As I mentioned, 6th most difficult hole on the golf course, and they've got a tee moved up today, only playing 195. Doug?
Sergio Garcia is still one of the best ball strikers in the world. Still a joy to watch him on the range. Man, it's fun. That sound when he's on there hitting those balls with the iron. Now from 195 here at the 7th. Sends that shot way up in that brilliant blue sky. Down it comes, landing over the left side of the green. 1 hop and stop. He's below the hole where you want to be, around 18 feet. Sergio looking for his 2nd birdie of the day.
To the 18th hole, Mark Carnevale.
Earl, it was a missed fairway to the right for Kevin Chappell. Had outside of 200 yards and actually played an iron shot that landed in the very right side of the fairway, just short of the fairway bunk or the green side bunker, hopped over to the left side of that bunker and then onto the green. He is on the back right of the green. He has a lengthy putt, but heck of a shot here for Kevin Chappell at the 18th. He's 4 under, playing the par 4 18th, his 9th hole of the day, and has a lengthy birdie putt to try to get the 5 under.
Still trying to figure out how the 18th is playing so darn easy. It's just always been one of the hardest holes. It's moving that direction a little bit. It's the 8th most difficult hole now. It was 10 earlier on in the day.
Yeah, now the bogey's starting to catch up to the birdies as well, playing just a little bit over par 4.024, which on the back 9 has been the easier of the 2 nines. That's starting to balance out a little bit, Dennis. The scoring average still right around a shot under par, but a little more than half a shot under par on the back now, and just a shade under half a shot under par in the front, Chick.
And on the 8th now, Ryan Armour, who was on the front portion of this fairway here, just short of the green with his chip to 33 feet. Now a downhill putt for Ryan Armour, and he leaves that 3 feet short. So Ryan Armour with a little bit of a struggle here on the par 4 8th. Meantime, his playing partner, Sebastian Munoz, has another chance at birdie now from 13 feet. Munoz 4 under through 7 holes. Just has to feel good on these greens after doing what he did last year. So Munoz takes one more look again. Steps over. He's got the light green pants and green shirt, blue hat. He takes one more peek now. Putter sends this one on the way towards the cup, and he's up and out of that one quickly. First time we've seen that from Sebastian Munoz. It'll be a tap-in par for him. He remains at -4.
And I think more than anything, he knows his field so well that as soon as he hit it, came up and he just knew that it wasn't hit with enough pace. It wasn't that he hit a bad putt. He just didn't hit it hard enough for the line that he chose, and it came up a little short.
Munoz, defending champ, had a 63 in round 3 en route to the win in a playoff a year ago. 64 the low rounds early today for the co-leaders. Jimmy Walker and Charlie Hoffman share the lead, -8. As we continue our coverage, gorgeous Thursday in Jackson, Mississippi, the Country Club of Jackson for the Sanderson Farms Championship.
Whether you're competing in your club championship, teeing it up with your friends, or getting in a late 9 with the kids, your time on the golf course is truly special. You could post your career low, make your first birdie, or simply hit a shot you'll never forget. That's why it's always worth it to play the best golf ball you can play. The the Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X. After all, your game is worth it. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf.
Start your legend today with RBI Baseball 20. It's fast-paced baseball action on your favorite video game system. Manage your favorite club in franchise mode, challenge a friend in multiplayer, or just let it rip in the Home Run Derby. All new features make the game better than ever. RBI Baseball 20. Legends start here. Out now on all major gaming platforms and mobile devices. Get your copy today wherever games are sold. Rated E. Copyright MLB. Officially licensed product of MLB Players, Inc.
This is not an offering to sell a franchise. Franchise offerings are made through the franchise disclosure document. Ask for details. Do you have a high-stress corporate job? Are you tired of working for other people? Do you want to invest in a business that makes a positive impact in your community? Express Employment Professionals is looking for franchise owners in your area to transform people's lives. With an Express franchise, you are a hands-on leader and relationship builder in a recession-resilient industry. It's a great way to benefit your community by helping people find jobs and helping local companies find employees. As Entrepreneur Magazine's #1 staffing franchise for 9 years running, we average $6 million in annual sales and have a proven track record of helping franchise owners create businesses that thrive. You'll get all the training and ongoing support you need from industry experts. Now is the time to own an Express staffing franchise. To find out more, go to expressfranchising.com. That's expressfranchising.com. expressfranchising.com.
Jackson, Mississippi this week, known as the City with Soul. Jackson is the state capital, largest city in the state of Mississippi. Home now at the Country Club of Jackson for a 7th straight year for the Sanderson Farms Championship. Let's get right back out to Doug Bell.
Henrik Stenson just off the back of the green here at the par 3 7th. He's 46 feet away. Flagstick remains in the cup. Stenson, the big Swede, gives it a wrap with a putter. Climbing the hill now on the dance floor, rolling out towards the hole, and it's still rolling, and finally comes to rest a couple of feet outside right. So that's well done for Henrik, who's been very consistent today. He's had a couple of good birdie looks that he didn't convert, but nevertheless, he's going to make that, and he will stay at 1 under through 7 holes to start his round. Henrik Stenson.
18th hole now to Mark Carnevale.
Earl out here at the 18th after finding the green with his second. Kevin Chappell has 47 feet putting across this green from right to left to this back left hole location. Dennis was talking about, what has changed a little bit. Well, the wind's changed direction slightly and actually has picked up. It's more right to left off the tee here at 18. Instead of helping now, Kevin Chappell gets that putt started, gets it up over ridge, now tracking down the slope, down grain, but working to the left and coming up just a bit short. Maybe 3.5 feet for Kevin Chappell. He'll have that for a par to shoot an opening 4 under par in his opening 9. Chappell will mark and wait to convert his par.
Still a great start to that back 9 for his opening round. He got to make the turn and go to the front, but that's a really good start for him to keep that going. And he's going to have some fairly benign golf holes with 1, 2, and 3 when he makes the turn. Maybe he can pick up a few more and challenge that number. You asked me earlier, Earl, if that 800 number might happen this afternoon. There's some guys on the golf course that I think it's definitely doable, no question about it. But the only way you're going to shoot under par is have a good both 9s. You can't have one good 9 usually and shoot 8 under par.
Back to Doug Bell.
Here at 7, Sergio Garcia looking to cash in for the second time today. Iron play's been good. He has 13 feet for what he hopes is his second birdie on the card so far. Now both hands on the grip. One regrip, one last look at the hole. Left to right breaker is on the way. Sergio holds the pose. The ball rolls up towards the hole, and it's right on the edge. Oh, baby. He gave it some body lean, and it just wouldn't make that final tumble. So another par for Sergio Garcia. He stays at 1 under through 7 holes.
Another good putt, though. He's hitting some good quality putts and just not going in right now. But, it's been vintage Sergio, putting the ball in the fairway, putting the ball in the green, give himself looks. And that's what Sergio's done for most of his career.
Yeah, and just needs to get something going with that putter. You better heat things up if you want to get one of those numbers. Sebastian Munoz, defending champion, has got it 4 under par already today among the best afternoon rounds. He's on that front nine. Kevin Chappell, obviously, about to make the turn, playing the back nine. So those 2 4-unders are there, and maybe it's an advantage for Munoz going to the back nine. It seemed that that's where the runs were, and it was the low scoring, at least early in the day. But as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Dennis, that while the overall scoring average of the course is about the same, it seems the back nine is not quite as easy. It was almost a shot under par earlier. It's about a half a shot under par now.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, as Carney mentioned, talking about how the wind has shifted a little bit, maybe some of the holes on that back nine that were playing a little easier or a little more difficult are playing a little easier, like 18, for example, is getting a little more difficult because it doesn't have any help now. It's going the other direction. So it'll be interesting to see as we move forward. There's not a ton of wind, but there's enough that it's more than make you pay attention. There's enough breeze out there that it's maybe a half a club. But it's definitely, I think, with the wind shifting and the way it bounces through the trees, it's the commitment of the player committing to where the wind actually is. Player and caddy is huge when you've got these light winds and you're just not quite sure. And you've got to hit it to a proper number when the greens are fast.
Back to the winner of the 1992 Chattanooga Classic on the PGA Tour, Mark Carnevale.
At the 18th green, Kevin Chappell now 3 feet for his par save. And just have to keep it inside the right edge, back and through, and ball into the bottom. So an opening 32 for Kevin Chappell. He'll make the turn to his back nine at 4 under.
Yeah, get it done halfway to the leaders. That's what you need to do. He'll need to keep it up on his second nine on the front to make up more ground on the 2 atop the leaderboard. Jimmy Walker, Charlie Hoffman, 8 under 64s to share the opening round lead as our continuing coverage from the Sanderson Farms Championship. The Country Club of Jackson in Mississippi will continue on PGA Tour Radio.
The PGA Tour and PGA Tour charities are focused on providing help and support to local communities. The recently launched COVID-19 PGA Tour and Tournament Charity Relief Funds will assist in raising funds for the PGA Tour communities, as well as to the greater coronavirus relief efforts of the American Red Cross. Golf can continue to bring us together to support each other, inspire each other, and unify as one. Learn how we can support each other at PGATourCharities.org.
Your golf ball is the most technologically advanced, or it's not. Your golf ball is either the most consistent, or it's not. It's the most trusted, or it's not. The fact is, it's either Titleist, the best performing golf ball in the world, or it's not. Prove it for yourself. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. What will you play?
Play where the pros play and book your next golf vacation with the PGA Tour's TPC network. Take advantage of incredible spring vacation offers at some of our most iconic courses, including TPC Sawgrass, TPC Louisiana, and TPC Scottsdale. Live the PGA Tour experience and walk the same fairways as the game's greatest players. Stay and play vacation packages are available now. Visit tpc.com/XM to learn more. Welcome to golf at the highest level. Welcome to TPC. The defining moment happened on March 24th at the Players' Championship.
Johnny, that's better than most. How about him? That is better than most. Better than most!
Don't miss the defining moment in 2021 as the Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 14th. To learn more, visit theplayers.com.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of the Sanderson Farms Championship from the Country Club of Jackson in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we do at the top and bottom of every hour in our live play-by-play coverage, time now for a leaderboard update presented by Titleist.
When it comes to more speed, more precision, and more consistency, it's either Titleist or it's not. Tee up the Pro V1 or Pro V1X and prove how good you can be. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. And a couple of 64 setting the pace early. Jimmy Walker, Charlie Hoffman in with those 8 under rounds, still in the lead. With those in the afternoon, no one's gotten closer than 4 yet. Michael Gligic in with a 65, 7 under. He's 1 back. 4 rounds of 66, 6 under for Keegan Bradley, Honorban Lahiri, JT Poston. and Taylor Gooch today. They are tied for fourth, 2 behind, and Roger Sloan, the only 67 so far, 5 under par round for him. He is 3 off the lead, Doug Bell.
Earl out here at the par 4-8, 392 yards, gorgeous hole with a creek running down the left side, elevated green.
He's come up a little short. Got 12.5 feet left for his birdie, but it is back up the hill and really disappointing. Maybe this 8th fairway we have not seen much chase at all. I don't want to blame anything, but from 112 yards to miss the green that much, there might have been a little mud on the golf ball, and I think that's the thing that the players are kind of thinking about a little bit with some of the mud balls that we heard players have. And Ryan Armour first, though, trying to clean up with a birdie here at number 9. Not much in that at all, and that's a great birdie for Ryan Armour. So he picks up a birdie, and now he's 2 under par as he makes the turn.
Yeah, another former champ and one of the last 6 first-time winners on the PGA Tour. The difference for Ryan Armour, he was the only one of those first-timers not under the age of 30. He was 41 when he won this event a couple of years ago, DP.
Now, Sebastian, I just can't figure out how badly he missed the green. Going back up the hill, 12.5 feet out of the left, breaking right, and just missed on the high edge. I think that putt was hit pretty well, just a little bit of a misjudge. That's going to be a drop shot for Sebastian Munoz. He makes the turn at 3 under.
Back one hole, Doug Bell.
Out here at number 8, the par 4, Henrik Stenson will try to make up for a miss hit with that second shot. He's short of the green, 54 feet away. It's an uphill third shot, and degree of difficulty is about a 7.5 on a 10 scale. This is pretty difficult, especially where the hole location is. Feet close together, ball back in a stance, bringing it in low. Scoots once, twice, and now rolls out towards the hole, and that's well done, about 4.5 feet. That'll be for his par save for Henrik Stenson to stay at 1 under.
Pretty nice play from there, from the fairway. We've seen some shots that have been a little grainy around the greens, and we've seen some poor ones played, but that was really nicely judged.
Yeah, Stenson, if he can manage that par save, would stay 1 under, so solid early, not the runs. A couple of these players, Stenson, Sergio Garcia, side by side in one of our feature groups in the afternoon we're hoping for, but you get to 9, Dennis, and that's where things open up a little bit. That is one of the easier holes of the day now. 20 birdies at the 9th, and that starts a stretch there. You can get things going on the back 9. 2 early par 5s that are playing among the easiest holes today, number 11 and number 14. So get through 8, and then maybe you can start getting some of those birdies you need, Doug Bell.
Yeah, they need to turn it on, this feature group, and they know it. They're looking at the scoreboard. They knew what the scores were coming out to tee off this afternoon. Sergio, far left side of this huge green complex, 61 feet away. Hole cut on the far right-hand side. We'll leave the flag stick in. Sergio with 1 practice stroke. It's almost like a slow motion stroke. And then puts the putter behind the ball and now follows through with the real McCoy. Here comes the putt, rolling through a swale up the hill, rolling out towards the hole, and comes up really short. That's good 8 feet or so. So Sergio with work to do out here at number 8 to stay in red numbers.
Yeah, he really does. You don't want to go to the well too often with that putter. But Sergio does look pretty comfortable on the greens. He's not making everything, that's for sure. But with the index finger going down the back of the shaft, he actually looks pretty comfortable with this new method.
First hole, Mark Carnevale.
And from 104 yards left rough, Kevin Chappell lands it on the downslope left side of the green, and that takes a hop forward, and that goes over the left side of the green. There's a collection area. He was certainly playing for that as that ball landed well short of this back left hole location, but that ball took off. Kevin Chappell missing the green from 104 yards here at the first.
And now back to Doug Bell at 8.
Let's see if Sergio can convert this par putt from 7 feet. Actually, make it 9 feet. And we'll see if he can stay at 1 under par. His shadow stretching right across the line, which has been the case most of the day where the sun is in Jackson, Mississippi, and the way the course is positioned. And Sergio gives it one last glance, locks that head in position, and the stroke sends the ball up at the hole, and that misses right. So it's a 3-putt bogey from 61 feet. And Sergio is back to level par through 8 holes.
You mentioned this little run that the players have. I think 8 can be added to the 8 and 9, really, Earl. Add that. The hole they got to worry about is 10. 10's the hole that is really kind of giving guys problems there. It's 230 yards. It's only playing 211 today, but it's playing well over par and ranked the third most difficult hole on the property.
Speaking of the 10th, Sebastian Munoz, last year's winner, coming off a disappointing bogey at the 9th hole, now on the tee at number 10. Tee shot in the air, 211 today. Front left hole location. He's kind of backing up. Not sure he likes this as that ball, lands short, pops up on the green. That's a good shot. That's inside 20 feet. Sebastian Munoz below the hole at 10. Chance to bounce back with a birdie at the par 3.
He'd love to. And I think really if you make a bogey at 9, you go to 10 and you don't make a bogey, I think if you make a par, it's almost a bounce back. It's one of the, like I said, the most difficult holes on the golf course today. There's only been 17 birdies there all day, but there's been 28 bogeys and a double bogey there. So this hole playing 13 strokes over par. It's one that you got to pay attention to, and it doesn't have anything really around the hole location. It's pretty straightforward, but you miss short of the green. There's been a lot of bogeys there, and a lot of the guys have come up short in the right rough, and that's not a place to try to get it up and down to save par at 10.
And Munoz going to have inside 15 feet coming up from below the hole. A chance for him to bounce back after that birdie at 9. One of the easiest holes in the front 9, third easiest hole on the front. There have only been 9 bogeys there so far, and that was his first drop shot of the day. Had one of the low ones of the afternoon going at 4 under par. Chance for him to get back there now at 4 under before he hit at the 10th hole. A great tee shot by Corey Connors alongside past runner-up at this event. He put one to 3 feet, so right after it, and a good chance for him to get one on the board and get the -2 for the tournament early on a Thursday. Doug Bell?
Here at number 8, Henrik Stenson, about 3.5 feet for his par save. Putter behind the ball, wide stance. The stroke sends the ball up and into the bottom it goes. So Henrik Stenson with a nice up and down. He's had a couple of those today, and he stays at 1 under, his only birdie back at number 2.
Got it up and down. I mean, that was very rarely does Henrik Stenson miss-hit a shot. That was very strange. The lie looked okay in the fairway, but that 8th fairway is one of the lower portions of the property, and maybe that had a little bit of mud on it and just didn't pull it off, but he was able to get it up and down from short of the green.
First hole down to Mark Carnevale.
Kevin Chappell over the green left here at the par 4 first. Inside 30 feet, pitches it onto the green on the downslope, works past the hole, and that rolls out to about 3 feet. So Chappell will have that for par here at the first to stay at 4 under.
Yeah, not a horrible place over the green. There's been a couple of bogeys there from over the green, but all the players that have made bogey from over the green have kind of hit it well over the back of the green in the rough. Much more difficult shot than where it is right now. But that's just the things that happen when you don't put the ball in the fairway. You have a tendency to kind of have a hard time, even with wedges in your hand, to hit the ball close to the hole. And that's kind of the situation that's faced Kevin Chappell here by, even though he hit the pins back left and he hit in the right rough, he had the angle. As Carney mentioned, hit on a little bit of downslope and didn't even think about holding the green.
Well, and that's a good place when you make the turn, Dennis. That should be an easy start for a few holes there. That first hole is giving up 27 birdies. It is the 4th easiest hole of the day, and you have the par 5 coming up in a couple of holes at number 3, which is the 2nd easiest. So Kevin Chappell really in this stretch has a chance to improve on that 4 under, which is the best round so far in the afternoon. Over to Emmy Award-winning broadcaster in Washington, D.C., longtime sports anchor at NBC Sports Washington, Chick Hernandez.
All right, Armour Earl with a nice little bounce back, at least up and down out of the greenside bunker. Nice shot here on number 10 after the birdie on number 9. So Ryan Armour now remains at -2, as Sebastian Munoz now will look to get the birdie after the bogey on number 9. Drop back to -3, the defending champ did. Certainly loves these greens. Dennis, he hit an absolutely not as good as Corey Connors' shot, but a nice shot, leaving himself beneath the hole 13-footer.
Yeah, the Corey shot looked like it was going to go in the hole from the angle, and it looked like it was sitting right on the edge. But then when you looked at it on ShotLink, it's 3 feet short because it was just kind of right through the flagstick. But this is a great look here, one that you can be aggressive with for sure, Chick.
Yeah, a little right to left here, straight back up the hill now. Munoz putter back and through, and that's left to right. Bad read by me, and not so good a read there by Sebastian Munoz. Just skirts on the bottom portion of this little hole here. And so Munoz, with a failed birdie attempt, he'll par, remain at -3.
It's one of those where if he'd missed the green to the left and got it up and down, he'd be pretty happy, but he have such a good look at number 10. It really is a tough hole, and it plays really tough when it's your opening hole of the day and you're, playing early in the morning and you got to fire your first shot with a long iron or at least a mid iron. Today, only playing 211 yards, and on the card it's 233, so a little different hole than it can play, but still, as I mentioned, third most difficult hole on the property in the opening round, Chick.
And so Corey Connors now from 3 feet 1 inch according to Shot Link, right back up the hill, straight putt, don't give the hole away, and he doesn't. And Corey Connors, an authoritative putt there, the birdie at number 10. So Connors moves to -2 as they head to the par 5 11th.
Let's go to Mark Carnevale.
At the first green, after a nice little pitch shot from behind the green, Kevin Chappell now 3 feet for his par. Not much in that as this ball is away up to the cup and in. Save here for par at the first for Kevin Chappell. He remains at 4 under.
Good save. Good save right there. But, we're talking about hitting the fairways. It wasn't like it was a super long hole and he had a middle iron in his hand. He had 104 yards and couldn't hit the green. And the ball wasn't like he caught a flyer or anything like that. It's just the greens are starting to firm up just a little bit. And the fairways, I think, are getting just a little bit more important than they were in the opening round. No one's having troubles, really, with the exception of the par 3s holding the greens. But if you're from the fairway, and I think that's really going to be the key this afternoon, Earl.
Yeah, and he's going to go to 2, where Nate Lashley just hit one to 8 feet, made the putt. So this stretch, 1, 2, and 3, he can make birdies. Lashley has one up ahead of him now, and he gets to 4 under par. So 2 best scores of the day in the afternoon. Lashley and Chappell, same section of the golf course. Chappell now through 10, going to finish on the front. Lashley through 11 there inside the top 10 now, tied for 9th, 4 under.
Kevin will be more than happy to let Nate lead the barrage if that's the case, and he'll just follow right behind him. It's not really a big deal. I don't care where I get him. Let's just make some more birdies. And as you mentioned, these par 5s are going to be early on this front 9. So hopefully we can get a couple guys up near the top of the leaderboard, because the best on the golf course right now, you just mentioned, Earl, are those 2 players at 4 under par, 4 back right now.
Over to one of the golf analysts for CBS Sports' HQ streaming network, Doug Bell.
Earl, thanks so much. Henrik Stenson from the fairway right side here at number 9, 162 yards since his second shot up in the air. Now flies down on this elevated green and bounces once and stops, and he'll have a good look, a 20-footer or so coming up for Henrik Stenson, trying to get to 2 under par.
And that's going to be about where the cut might end up a little later on in the afternoon. It's starting to move that way. It was at even par just a little while ago, but barely. It tied for 65th, and now the 1 under pars are tied for 56th. So we're talking a little earlier. I think 4 under par, with the forecast being so good, and I think one day of golf under your belt, understanding the speed of the greens, because I think all the players, especially the players that have played here multiple years, these greens are as fast as they've ever been on this property, and getting used to how hard you need to hit them. And it seems like, Earl, they're hitting their putts up the hill too hard. The ball's not slowing down going up the hill.
Well, and looking forward on the forecast, the only day there's any chance of a little bit of rain is Sunday, 1/100th of an inch. So it's going to be firm and fast all week. And I mentioned, Dennis, gorgeous weather here. Honor Bond Lahiri comes in this week, coming off. He's one of those that played last week in the Dominican Republic, where it was oppressively hot with the humidity there. How often do you come to Mississippi to get away from the humidity? These guys have so far.
No, I know, and that's the thing that's so shocking. It's one thing to have cooler temperatures, but usually that humidity will just come right back in. And for the folks that don't understand it, the humidity levels, when they're so high, you get that overnight dew session where it's almost like the golf course gets watered. If it stays dry enough where the grass doesn't get a whole lot at night, it's really going to dry out a lot quicker than people think.
And back to Doug Bell.
Arnold here at number 9, Sergio with another long drive, leaves him just 113 yards. It's an uphill approach over the left side of the fairway. Sergio's second shot on the way, on a good line. Bounces in front of the hole and stops, and he'll have 12 feet or so up the hill for birdie for Sergio. And you guys talked about the humidity. It's interesting. Last week, first weekend in the Southeastern Conference SEC football, and the humidity broke. I mean, is that ironic, or is that just the way life is in the Southeast? What do you think?
I'm going to go with, I believe the good Lord likes football and just wanted to have a little bit of a fall start, Earl.
go with 2020. Expect the unexpected. This week, gorgeous start to the week. In Jackson, Mississippi, Charlie Hoffman, Jimmy Walker, early 64s, the co-leaders at -8. As we continue PGA Tour radio coverage, 4th of 50 FedEx Cup events. This season, this is round 1 of the Sanderson Farms Championship.
Hunting a bounce-back birdie here at number 9 on a gorgeous Thursday. 13 feet away, uphill putt that should turn right to left on these slick greens at the Country Club of Jackson. Putter behind the ball. Sergio, rhythmic stroke, sends it up at the hole and missed over in the left side, cut right in front of the cup and would not go down. Boy, he's had a lot of good looks. Just hasn't had many that have gone in, so Sergio will tap that in to shoot even par 36 on the front 9.
Well, that's a little disappointing. I think he played a little better than that. The new method, even though he looks pretty comfortable on the greens, he hasn't made some of these short ones that he needs to make. You got to make more putts inside 10 feet as good as he hits the golf ball.
Well, just check, Dennis. 118th strokes gained putting. He's lost a shot and a half with the putter on the front 9. 15 putts.
I mean, wouldn't you say, basically right around the green on both the par 5s and 2, and doesn't birdie him. Hit it, stuffed it a couple of times, and just not making putts. I mean, he hasn't done anything wrong, except the putter's not giving him those opportunities. And it's so stressful when you hit the good shot and don't convert that one, because then when you hit the one bad one, you don't have anything that you don't have any cushion, basically, to play with, and that's where he's at right now.
Well, someone who is making birdies has from the start. Kevin Chappell has turned to the front, and he's trying to get as low as anyone this afternoon, 5 under in 60 seconds.
Imperial Headwear, the best fit in golf.
Now to stay at 1 under.
Yeah, it's not very Hinson-like right now with the iron play. It's usually spot on. Just that big old thump. One of the loudest strikers of the golf balls I've ever heard. I mean, the sound of him compressing 7 and 8 irons is just amazing when you're on the range. You can't believe it could come off a player's golf club like that.
Guy who's pretty good with irons is on the tee next, Sergio Doug Bell.
Yeah, Earl, no question about it. 211 yards, this downhill par 3, 10th. Sergio with a swing and holds that follow through, wraps it around his neck and just watches. And that lands up in the right front portion of the green, then takes a nice hop a little bit towards the hole location. Another good iron shot for Sergio. He's inside 20 feet, trying to get back to 1 under par.
Yeah, that was a very nice play. Hung it out a little bit to the right of the hole, but that's where you want to be. You don't want to miss left here at number 10. It's awful tough to get it up and down, and now he's got a decent look going back up the hill. Let's see if this new method for Sergio, he can turn around this back 9 and start making a few putts.
Whenever Sergio's on a par 3, Dennis, I always think back to TPC Sawgrass when he stepped up at 17 in the playoff with Paul Goidos and hit one of the great shots in that championship's history, stuck it tight to win his Players' Championship. There is no other more nervy, difficult, pressure-packed shot in golf than 17 Sunday at the Players' Championship, and he had to do it in the playoff to win that Players. So you can never take that away from him.
Yeah, and the thing is that the reason why that shot's so hard is because it's so easy, honestly. I mean, there's no way you should miss the green. There's no way you should miss that shot. There's much more difficult holes that we see, say, at Honda with the water right, playing back into the wind. But so many guys hit it in the water. This shot is one that, are you going to take on that Sunday hole location is really the big question. He just absolutely flushed it and stuffed it there.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of the Sanderson Farms Championship from the Country Club of Jackson in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we do at the top and bottom of every hour in our live play-by-play coverage, time now for a leaderboard update brought to you by MasterCard. Tap and go with your MasterCard, the simple, secure way to pay.
So now in the afternoon, Kevin Chappell a little closer to the co-leaders, 3 back with Charlie Hoffman, Jimmy Walker in at 8 under par, shot matching 64s today. Hoffman 9 birdies and a bogey. Walker a clean card, 8 birdies in his opening round. And they share a 1-shot lead over Michael Gligic, in with a 7 under 65, tied for 4th, 6 under. Honorban Lahiri, JT Poston, Taylor Gooch, and Keegan Bradley all shoot 66s. They are tied for 4th, 2 off the lead. And Kevin Chappell now coming off that birdie at number 2, his 11th hole of the day. He's got a clean round going. 5 under to tie for 8th with Roger Sloan 3 shots off the lead.
Some of the notables out on the golf course were finished. Stuart Sink, a winner a few weeks ago at Napa Safeway Open, 3 under par, 69 to open. Also at 3 under par, that's last year's winner of this event, Sebastian Munoz. He's 3 under through 10. Zach Johnson, Corey Connors, and Ryan Armour are all just a couple under par. Zach's done with a 70. Sunjay M posts a 1 under par, 71. Scotty Scheffler, kind of the favorite coming in here, had to deal with a little bit of the COVID situation a few weeks ago, getting to play again after testing positive. He shoots a 1 over par, 73. And Hudson Swafford, last week's winner, not the start he wanted, shot a 3 over par, 75 in the opener.
This week, the path to the PGA Tour, the Corn Ferry Tour, is in the hostess city of the South for the Savannah Golf Championship from the Deer Creek course at the Landings Club on the coast of Georgia right now. Through 1 round of play, Andrew Dorn is your leader after firing an opening round 9 under 63. 1 shot back are 2, Jake Knapp and Evan Harmeling. 4 are tied at -7, including Sang Moon Bae and Kevin Doherty. And at 3 shots back, there are 4, including Marty Doe and Kyle Reifers.
Players who've been impacted by the year's cancellations on the PGA Tour's 3 international circuits getting a chance again this week, playing the local IQ series at Harbor Hills Country Club, Lady Lake, Florida, the challenge at Harbor Hills. And round number 2 today, Cole Miller and Jorge Fernandez Valdez end up as the co-leaders at 11 under par with a 2-shot lead through 2 rounds of that event on the local IQ series. Check.
All right, here at the par 5 11th now, reigning champion Sebastian Munoz with his 3rd shot. 34 yards to this hole. It's a front right hole location there for Munoz. The blade wide open. Munoz steps in now. It's that first cut on the left portion of this fairway. A little small swing there from Munoz up onto the green. That's a fine shot. Gets the thumbs up from Ryan Armour. That's a heck of a shot. That's inside 2 feet, so that's a good look at birdie for Sebastian Munoz to get back to -4.
Yeah, it won't really be considered a bounce back, but it'd be nice to get it back to 4 under par. Kind of try to take care of this par 5.
3rd hole now to Mark Carnevale.
Earl, this 3rd green here, the par 5, very unique hole design. It kind of goes from back to front, sloping, and it also slopes from left to right. This whole location up on that sort of plateau up on the left-hand side behind the left greenside bunker. Nate Lashley laid up as this hole's playing kind of back into the breeze today, and at least it is this afternoon. At 97 yards, has hit it to 16 feet past this whole location. Now has a putt that should turn from his right to left. This would be back-to-back birdies for Lashley, and it would take him to 5 under. Couple practice strokes. Now we'll slide the putter in behind the golf ball. Breeze coming a little bit right at Lashley. Putter back, ball away, working up towards the cup, and he stands up as that slides by. Expected that to move to the left. It did not. Lashley will tap in for par, and he'll stay at 4 under with a par here at 3.
And to the back 9 up to 10, Doug Bell.
Henrik Stenson off the right front portion of the green here at number 10. Lengthy shot outside 60 feet. Has an iron in his hand, feet close together. He'll hit this kind of like a putt. And here it comes. Low scooter up onto the green, rolling out towards the hole, still rolling out. And he's got about 3.5 feet. So well done for Henrik Stenson. Has a nice touch, nice feel for those kind of shots. Needs that to go in to stay at 1 under.
Yeah, really the key to that shot, he's a tall guy, stands close to it, and when you stand closer to it, you're going to get a little more vertical, be a little more upright, and that's really what it's all about. It's solid contact, and you really need to try to compress the ball and push it down into the ground to get the ball to come up in the air with proper speed and trajectory, and do not help that little chip shot. You're dead into the grain when you've got those tough little chip shots around the green.
Back to you again, Doug.
On the 10th green, Sergio Garcia 20 feet away after another excellent tee shot. Looking for a bounce-back birdie. Again, that new putting grip with the right index finger down the right side of the grip, a la Brooks Koepka. Does the same thing. Serge Gives it one last glance. It is uphill. He can be aggressive. And the stroke sends it on the line, rolling out towards the hole, getting closer, and comes up a little short. He takes that deep breath because he knows he's hitting good iron shots, but nothing is going down with that putter. He taps it in to stay at even par through 10 holes.
Par 5, 11th, and Ryan Armour from 15 feet and hits it with authority. That one had some movement to it. That's in the back of the cup and drops in. So Ryan Armour with a birdie here at number 11. So now at -3 as they head to the par 4 12th.
That's a good call. That thing did have some pace, but when it actually hit, that stopped its movement and went to the bottom of the hole. And those are always a good thing.
Sebastian Munoz with that fine approach. He had a tap-in birdie from just outside of a foot, so he birdies. Now Corey Connors with an opportunity to get the hat trick here, which would certainly be a fitting since he is from Ontario, Canada. Connors putt now all the way towards the cup, and that drops. So there it is, the hat trick. I'm not going to guess anybody's going to throw a hat. Nope, they're not. So Corey Connors with the birdie there at number 11. Back-to-back birds for him. He's at -3.
I'll find one and toss it in the break. How's that sound? That was a great putt right there. That looked confident. When you look at his card, and a 3-putt from, 5 or 6 feet? I mean, it wasn't even close. So he didn't hit a very good chip shot from being over the green, but that little double bogey blemish that he had on the card is the only mistake all day. He's played some really, really good golf. Pay attention to what he does today.
Number 3, Mark Carnevale.
Out here at Kevin Chappell, Earl at the par 5 had to lay up, drove it in the right rough. He's going to have 96 yards. Getting back into the breeze today. And Dennis, you were talking about the rough earlier. And I can let you know, I've been walking in the rough. The ground is still soft, but what's happening is the grass is starting to dry out. And as you know, you get wiry Bermuda rough. That could be the toughest rough to play out of because you absolutely cannot judge the golf ball. So what you talked about earlier is starting to happen. The rough is starting to dry out.
No, and I think that's something that's going to be really important as we move forward. And you said it perfectly, Carney. I mean, the Bermuda rough, it could be anything. You get any other kind of grass there, and it's thick, so the ball's probably going to come out soft. But when you've got Bermuda, it could do anything. It could come out 5 yards short or go 30 yards long, and it's really hard to judge. You've got to have a lot of work behind you and played a lot of shots to really understand what that lie is going to do.
Here at the 3rd.
All right. Yeah, the rough. I mean, I'll never forget my very first tournament on the PGA Tour. Earl was at Hawaii at Sony, and I drove it in the right rough, and I had a 7-iron in my hands on this par 5. The first hole was a par 5 back then, and I hit a 7-iron trying to land it just short of the green because I knew it would come out a little hot. It was like 200 yards. I flew it completely over the green. And believe it or not, Earl, you probably don't know this, there's a hazard behind the green at number 1 at Sony. I hit it 50 yards over the green with a 7-iron. I mean, it was just ridiculous how far and how fast this ball came out. As soon as I hit it, I just laughed. I go, I don't know what's back there, but there's nothing I could say to that golf ball because it came out twice as fast as I thought it was going to. Carney?
96 yards for Kevin Chappell as he makes contact. This ball working a little bit left to right. This lands past the hole some 10, 12 feet and then spins back towards it. Good shot for Kevin Chappell. That'll be inside 12 feet for birdie here at the 3rd. Kevin Chappell trying to get it to 6 under par.
Yeah, and he's not only playing solidly, he's putting very nicely too. So he likes fast greens. He really does enjoy very fast greens. So look for this putt to have it some sort of a chance to try to get to 6 under.
Which would get him within 2 of the lead. Kevin Chappell, quick start on the back 9, has been there from the start this afternoon. One of those making a move on the leaders. Trying to get within 2 of Jimmy Walker and Charlie Hoffman, who are in with 8 under par 64s as we continue PGA Tour radio coverage from the Country Club of Jackson. This is round 1 of the Sanderson Farms Championship. 8 under par is the lead. Charlie Hoffman, Jimmy Walker opening 64s to set the pace. Day 1 of the Sanderson Farms Championship. Earl Forcing and analyst Dennis Paulson alongside. Sebastian Munoz is the defending champion this week, and he's off to a good start today as well, as Munoz had a terrific start in the front 9. 4 under through 5. He's 4 under par for the day now, and just getting things going a couple holes into his back 9, and kind of, Dennis, I think you mentioned early in the day, picking up seemingly right where he left off a year ago.
Yeah, he's looked very comfortable. He's missed a couple of putts. The one shot, just that oddball shot that he hit at number 9, is really the only blemish that he's had all day from the middle of the fairway, and just hit a really poor iron shot into the green. Other than that, it's been really solid.
And he's about to play in at the par 4, number 12, Chick Hernandez.
166 yards out of that primary rough on the right side for Sebastian Munoz here in the par 4, 12th, a front right hole location, but he's out of the thick stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how this ball comes out. He's missed just 2 greens so far today. And this one he sends high into the sunshine.
Dennis.
Couldn't be Bryson, could it?
Yeah. 18.8 yards he gained off the tee, going from 291.6 to 310.4. And apparently that's not enough for him, because he's going to continue. He says he's going to keep bulking up. We see him at Augusta, I guess, for him. But Sergio has kind of done what I'm guessing now that, what DeChambeau's done is paid off with a major championship. I'm guessing a lot of guys are going to try to follow suit, Chick.
Just the wrong way. 20 on hole number 12 here is Ryan Palmer, just off the green here. 22 feet to this hole. Ryan Armour with wedge in hand. A little difficult chip because he's got a short side of himself here. He's got to flop it up, and then this ball runs away from him. He sets in. Pretty big swing, and then holds off the finish. That's a pretty good shot for what he had. And Ryan Armour's going to roll out just outside 10 feet. He'll have that for par to remain at -3.
Yeah, the interesting story about Bryson DeChambeau is that he's actually reached out to some of the long drive guys, talked to them a little bit about it, and that's where he's coming up with his 48-inch driver, possibly showing up at Augusta with a 48-inch driver. Are you kidding me?
Could use a little more length, I'm guessing, Doug Bell.
Henrik Stenson's third shot from left of the green here at 11, and he goes down and catches that a little chunky. That ball lands short of the green, maybe by a yard or two. He was about 35 yards from the hole. I'm telling you, he's struggling with the irons, Stenson, and now he'll have a long putt for birdie from off the front left portion of the green here at the par 5 11th.
Sebastian Munoz here at 12, just off the back portion of this green in the short grass. He's got a wedge in hand, and he has got to hit it left. It's going to trundle back down towards the flag to the right. First part is done, ball in the air, now drops down to the green, headed towards the flag. That's going to roll out just right of the flag. That's a pretty good effort, but it continues to roll out there for Sebastian Munoz. He'll have inside 4 feet to say par, remain at -4.
Back to 11, back to Doug Bell.
Sergio Garcia, after that booming drive, an excellent second shot, has 44 feet for eagle 3 here at the 11th. Sergio sits at even par, 1 birdie, 1 bogey. If this should go down, this would give Serge a surge of energy on this Thursday, no question. Has come up and over a little rise, the whole kind of little shelf in the front of the green. Putter behind the ball. Sergio with a stroke. Rolling out, up now on that shelf towards the hole. And comes up just a little bit outside right. Has a little work to do, though. Maybe 6 feet. So Sergio needs to bear down to get that for what would be a second birdie of the day.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. I mean, that wasn't on the proper line or the proper speed. There was nothing really good about that putt at all. But I will say he doesn't look uncomfortable with this new style, with the finger, normal grip, as they say, but with the right finger going down the shaft. It's just not showing results.
Corey Connors had himself a pretty good look at birdie here on number 12 from just inside 17 feet, but leaves it on the right edge. And so Connors, the birdie string is over at 2. He remains at -3.
Right back to Doug Bell.
Henrik Stenson will have a birdie try now off the left front portion of the green. Will use the putter. He will leave the flag stick in. This is outside 35 feet easily. Stenson wearing the shades all day long. In fact, those are Henrik Stenson signature sunglasses. You can look them up online. And the stroke sends the birdie try. Smooth transition onto the dance floor, rolling out towards the hole. And that's going to kind of wind up a little short and right, maybe 3.5 feet. Henrik needs that for par to stay at 1 under. Only 1 birdie. That was back at number 2 for Stenson.
Here at 12, Ryan Armour now from just inside 8 feet trying to save par. A little downhiller left to right. This ball on the way, and that's dead solid, perfect for Ryan Armour. Nice up and down from the 44-year-old. He remains at -3.
That was an awkward little pitch shot. He had the face wide open, and it was one of those lies that was kind of grabby in the Bermuda, and he judged it very, very nicely. Just one of those that looked pretty straightforward, and it was far from it, but he did get it up and down.
Fourth hole, par 3, one of the tougher ones on the front nine. Mark Carnevale.
In the first part 3 of the front nine, Kevin Chappell on the tee here at the fourth, 166. Downhill to a front hole location, wind mostly off the right as Chappell makes contact. This ball lands just a little short and left of the flagstick on the front left of the green. That's a good putt. That'll leave him a uphill birdie putt inside 25 feet for Kevin Chappell here at the fourth, trying to get it to 6 under par.
Yeah, trying to get one more, get a little closer to the lead. Kevin's playing some really good golf, and he's made a few putts today, too, and I think that's really the key. Everybody that we've seen at the top of the leaderboard, for the most part, has made quite a bit of putts. Charlie Hoffman just striped it, put on a stripe show today. Didn't make a ton to get it to 8 under par.
And now for a par save, Henrik Stenson, Doug Bell.
Yeah, Earl, he's looking at this from all sides. He does not want to drop a shot at a par 5, especially after a perfect drive and a second shot that was just to the left of the green, maybe 20 yards. So he's got 6 feet for par save. Stenson back and forth with the putter. Practice strokes now inches in closer. Shuffles in, slides the putter behind the ball. Giving it one last look. Lines things up, and the stroke sends it up at the hole. And into the bottom it goes for Henrik Stenson. So there's a par. Again, one birdie. The rest pars. He's 1 under through 11.
Looks awful solid with the putter right now. He really does. He's hitting a lot of good putts. Made a lot of putts in that 4 to 6 foot range. I think this today hasn't made a whole lot, but he hasn't been missing them, and I think that's really the key. Even though he's not really shooting a score, he's keeping himself in the mix a little bit on a Friday or a Thursday, when he's not hitting on all cylinders with those irons.
And on the other hand, Sergio Garcia doesn't right now appear to be making anything, Doug.
Well, he needs to make this one here at 11. Sergio Garcia, 4.5 feet for his second birdie of the day. This does not do much. Aiming point just outside right. Sergio locks onto the target, sends the ball up at the hole, and into the bottom it goes for his second birdie of the day, and Sergio's back in red numbers at 1 under.
All right, there you go. That's a good putt. Let's maybe start getting something going. Got it back to 1 under par, just 2 birdies and a bogey, and he's got to make all those for sure, but he's got to start making some mid-range putts.
Let's go back to 4, back to Mark Carnevale.
After a really good tee shot here at the par 3 fourth, Kevin Chappell has 14 feet uphill for birdie. Should not be much in this putt at all. As he makes contact, ball tracking up towards the hole, right to left, and it turned a little further left than he thought. Trying to pull his left foot back and trying to keep it on line, but missed opportunity. 2 holes in a row now for Kevin Chappell. He'll tap in for par. He'll remain at 5 under with a par here at 4.
Yeah, it's not horrible. That 4th hole just awkward. It's the best. If it had a name, that's what it would be. It just, the green kind of sits up a little bit more than most, and it's surrounded by traps, and it doesn't look right. It's almost like you're playing to an anthill or something. It's just a really strange looking green for only being 165 yards. It's a very difficult shot to really get the number right.
Here at 13 now, the par 3, Ryan Armour. This hole playing 171. It's a back middle hole location. His playing partner, Corey Connors, put his in the center of the green. A low bullet here from Ryan Armour up towards the green, but he's going to miss the green here. Left it short. Actually, you know what? That's my bad. That actually went to the back portion and rolled back down towards the right. Excellent shot by Ryan Armour. He's got a 4-footer for birdie.
Yeah, that's a good shot right there. Tough kind of spot to play to, and this is par 3, 13th. Only 171 yards today. Plays 168 in the car, but with that back hole location all the way in the back of the green, there's a lot of players that have played short and safe at this hole location, trying not to go long.
Here on 13 now, Sebastian Munoz. From 171, back hole location, his partner, Ryan Armour, already very tight. And this is a high trajectory there on the right portion of this flag. That's flag high for Sebastian Munoz. He'll have inside 10 feet for birdie to get to -5.
All right. Going to give himself another opportunity to try to make a birdie. And literally, I keep going back to it, but I just can't figure out that shot that he hit at number 9. I mean, it wasn't even close in the middle of the fairway. He missed the hole by 50 feet short and to the left from the fairway from 112 yards, for crying out loud. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute.
But Sebastian Munoz, with that win in the playoff a year ago, off to a good start in the afternoon. One of the better rounds of the day. Trying to cut into the lead of Charlie Hoffman and Jimmy Walker, the two at 8 under par. After matching rounds of 64 early in the day, Walker and Hoffman still the co-leaders on a Thursday afternoon as we continue PGA Tour radio coverage from the Country Club of Jackson and the Sanderson Farms Championship. Out early, shot 64s, 8 under par rounds, 9 birdies for Hoffman, 8 in a bogey-free day for Jimmy Walker, still in front and by 1 over Michael Gligic, who's out early, shot 7 under 65, still solo third for him at -7, 1 back. 6 under par, Anirban Lahiri, JT Poston, Taylor Gooch, and Keegan Bradley had a great putting round, capped off by a long par saver to shoot his 66. Those 4 at 6 under are 2 shots back. Roger Sloan in with a 67 in the first wave, and now Kevin Chappell in the afternoon has caught him tied for 8th at 5 under. That's 3 off the lead, and the defending champ, Sebastian Munoz, a chance to get there himself now. Chick Hernandez.
Here on 13 now, Sebastian Munoz. Just inside 7 feet. Little right to lefter for Munoz. Sets his ping putter behind it. Ball on the way. That's going to stay right in the heart of the cup. So Sebastian Munoz now with another birdie here at 13 and gets him to 5 under par as they head to the par 5 14th.
There you go. Sebastian there getting to 5 under par. Stuart Sink, winner at Napa, 3 under par 69, playing in the morning. And last week's winner, Hudson Swafford, shot a 3 over par 75. Not what he was looking for in the opening round this week.
LPGA Tour 70th season continues in New Jersey this week. Lawrence Stevenson, an 8 under par 63 today in New Jersey to lead by 1 as they play the ShopRite LPGA Classic presented by Acer. They're at the Bay Course at Seaview Resort in Galloway, New Jersey. Chick.
13th hole now. Ryan Armour from just inside 5 feet after a nifty tee shot. Let's put her back and through towards the cup, and that one is in. So Ryan Armour with the birdie here at 13 to get to -4. Meantime, his playing partner Corey Connors, nice 2-putt from 44 feet, remains at -3 as well.
So some good rounds in the afternoon. Not quite as low right now as those Hoffman and Walker 64s earlier today, even though Sebastian Munoz, defending champ, is getting things going pretty quickly, and you needed to today, Dennis. These players, those rounds were in. So those out in the afternoon were 8 shots off the lead pretty early. You got to get out in the afternoon and try to find some birdies to make up a little ground to finish off your Thursday.
You always look at leaderboards and try to kind of get a balance of what's going on, and it's a hard one to kind of understand. With the 2 guys that have gotten to 5 under par now, with Kevin Chappell and Sebastian Munoz in the afternoon, with all the good scoring and the 6 under par stacking up, the 7 under par and 2 8 under pars, it was kind of surprising that just one player shot 5 under par. That was Roger Sloan in the morning. Kind of just a dead zone in the middle of this leaderboard that's really under par near the top.
To Doug Bell.
Earl out here at the 12th. Henrik Stenson just put his second shot on the green about 25 feet away. Sergio Garcia only about 115 yards, but he's in the left-hand rough, misses his first fairway in a while, and that is not a good lie. Sends that second shot out of the rough, up and over the water to this elevated green, and safely in the middle of the green. He knew what he was doing. Took all the danger out of play, safely on the green. That's outside 25 feet. Sergio looking for 2 birdies in a row. If he rolls that in, he'll get to 2 under par.
It's a great point you're making. I mean, 115 yards. Carney mentioned a little while ago about the rough starting to dry out. 115 yards in the rough, and the ball was kind of hovering a little bit in the rough. It wasn't sitting straight up. It was kind of halfway up and down, and that's where the players really get concerned with the lie. And he played that smart shot, giving himself the most option for judging where that ball is going to come out a little soft, still on the green. If it comes out a little hot, it still stays on the green, and not attacking that hole location shoved over there on the right-hand side where it really runs out behind the hole.
So far, really, throughout the day, the time we've been on the air, the scoring average really hasn't budged, 70.9, so it's still just about a shot under par, a little more than that. Mark Carnevale.
Earl, I believe the factor into that is the breeze has picked up a little bit. It's been a little more consistent and a little stronger. And out here at the par 5 fifth, Kevin Chappell pulled his tee shot left off the tee, actually close to the cart path that goes up the par 4 sixth. He's got a shot. He's in the area that's